So good morning. I hope you all doing well today. And my name is Tim Ealer, meteorologist, and we have a lot going on today. Um, multi um, multi-threat day today, for lack of a better word, with a marginal risk of flooding here into North Georgia. Um, right, flooding is continuing here in North Georgia, parts of Tennessee, and I'll take the radar off. South Carolina, North Carolina, right? But there's flooding ongoing here, right? And there's a flood watch, and I'll go over that in a minute. But also there's severe threat today, okay? So we'll talk about that as well. And welcome to my channel, guys. I hope y'all are ready for the weekend. I know I am. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll get into the discussion next. So starting off with the excessive rainfall outlook, we have flood watches in different areas here, and so I'm going to put the hazards on, all right? And we have quite a lot going on here, all right? And I'm going to focus on the south first here with the excessive rainfall outlook here, and but the excessive rainfall outlook for today is still in effect. It's just not on this map. You can see where that is till 12Z today, which is like 8 a.m. All right. So these are the hazards for this area. I'm going to take the excessive rainfall outlook off, and we have multiple warnings here. Flash flood watches, parts of Tennessee, northwest Georgia, uh, down into parts of Alabama and into Louisiana, Mississippi, with some special weather statements along the coast here of areas with areas of dense fog, the South Carolina coast, North Carolina, parts of southeast Georgia. All right, and some flood warnings, generally to the south where this, along where this precip axis is right now. Tornado warnings ongoing here. All right, with this rain, with these this bands of heavy precip and storms moving through the area. We also have tornado watch. Um, so all the way into northwest Georgia until let's see how long this is going. A few tornadoes, scanned or damaging winds, gusts of 70 miles per hour. So yeah. So as far as in 5 hours. So we'll see if they trim this or expand it some. But we just got another tornado warning here, radar indicated. All right, so that's the hazards for the southeast. For the northeast, we have some roadways that are frozen over, which could potentially bring hazardous travel conditions this morning, even though there's no precip up here, at least right now. We have wind advisory, special weather statement, and winter, looks like maybe some winter weather advisories. Oh, there was here up to the north. All right, so in the Midwest, just some snow here, but no real watches or warnings or advisories going on, except for up here into near Thunder Bay. Let's see what this is all about. Let's see what's going on here. Up to 4 inches of snow, so not high impactful here. Cold temperatures in Southern California, high winds in the parts of Arizona with high cold temperatures here, freeze warning until 9 a.m. today. So these areas don't normally get these cold temps, and you got some maybe wind gap, some Santa Ana winds picking up here in Southern California. Wyoming, parts of Montana, in Oregon, of course, we have stagnant air, freezing fog, with temperatures hovering around freezing this morning. And not that much else going on for the nation here, but so that's about it for the hazards for right now. So when we look at the temperatures here, we see quite a contrast. Excuse me. Um, Especially out in Colorado, we got some really cold temps this morning in the negative single digits here in some of these areas, even into parts of Arizona, near freezing in the desert, looks like this morning. 7 degrees Fahrenheit here. Excuse me. Postnasal drips getting me again today. But even cold up here into parts of Washington State, Oregon, 40s, 30s, even Los Angeles. Let me take a look at this here. Yeah, in the mid 40s. That's pretty cold for Los Angeles. So they got their coats on. You guys got your coats on out there today. Further to the south here, right along the Gulf Coast, especially in the 70s this morning. Fuel for the fire for the storms, right? And, in areas in the Northeast, even though the air temps are near above freezing, at the surface, you got some colder temps right along the surface here. So potentially some freezing on the roadways. Single digits up here into the northern high plains as well. Just generally cold out west here, right? That's where the coldest temps are right now. So as far as Georgia goes, what's going on today? Well, we got flood watch into parts of northeast Georgia this morning. Potential of 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, locally higher amounts, especially in the higher terrain, most likely. Don't try to drive through it. Once it's through the area, and the flooding subsides, you can go out and check on things, but don't put your life at risk with this, all right? So, also, we got severe storms possible today. Generally, the highest risk for tornadoes is further to the west in western Georgia, although, the highest, well, let me back up here. Yeah, the highest risk for tornadoes is further to the west. You can see this on the bottom graphic here. Damaging winds, also in the yellow area, slight risk area, and further to the northwest and to the south in this green area is a lesser risk and just mostly for gusts up to 60 miles per hour with as a cold front pushes through today. As far as temp and precip for today, chances, of course, near 100% on North Georgia. Um, Further south, at the beginning of the day, not as much, but as the day goes on, of course, the chances increase. Um, Warmer to the south here into middle Georgia and South Georgia in the 80s. Some more sunshine, I guess, and warmer temps and cloud cover up north with rainfall in the 60s. Tonight, cooling off. You're going to notice a huge difference tonight with the temperatures compared to what it's been. Close to freezing in North Georgia. Further south in the 50s for lows tonight. And generally, the rain chances are highest in middle Georgia tonight, excuse me. Tomorrow, not going to warm up that much. Generally in the 40s and 50s. Twist my words this morning. Trying to wake up here this morning, guys. And sunny skies for most of the state. Maybe some clouds in the far southern part of Georgia tomorrow. As far as temperatures go, for middle Georgia, I show this every day. 15-day temperature outlook. It really shows the dip in temperatures here. Of course, near 80 today in middle Georgia. Tomorrow, 30 degrees cooler, right? And then, but 50 to 55 is a near normal temperature here. which is going to remain that way, and then cooling off even more, possibly towards the middle of the period here. Although some uncertainties this year, and maybe warming up some as we get towards the end of the month, with maybe a pattern switch again. But for the short and midterm, we're going to have a definite cool down with temperatures below freezing quite a few days here, even in middle Georgia. So, going to be an interesting time here in the next week or two. So, as far as severe weather, today is the last day where severe weather is expected for the continental U.S. here. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat, guys. I'm going to drink some coffee here. So yeah, we got this slight risk here of, which is 50%, right? Driven by winds mostly here. So we look at this risk. You can see the highest probability of winds here exceeding 50 knots within 25 miles of a point. Generally runs Meridian, Mississippi, to near Birmingham, to LaGrange, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, Monroeville, Lucedale, Hattiesburg, Waynesboro. All right, and a larger risk here of a larger 5% wind risk in the Brown area. All right. Hail, we don't have a risk of hail, although some small hail might occur with some storms, but no severe hail expected. And wind, of course, we talked about that, right? And tornado risk. So they've changed this tornado risk a little bit. Let me look at this. Yeah, since yesterday, they didn't have this marginal risk of tornadoes here into the 2% risk area. So we got the 5% tornado risk here within 25 miles of a point, and then the 2% risk here in the green. So there's a change from yesterday. They just had this brown area, and it went a little further north here. So we're going to review the severe threat and parameters and things next, but as part of this video, so we'll talk about that. So let me go back to the excessive rainfall outlook again, just to show y'all and where the highest precip amounts are supposed to be today. All right, so not overall expecting really heavy rainfall. Really, the heaviest rain is potentially up here into the northeast and mid-Atlantic as we go through this today, right? So heaviest rain is ongoing, with potential for up to 4 inches. I don't know why this is not showing day 1 through 2 here, day 1 through 3. But anyway, that's what it shows. So kind of a strange look here. But then in the Pacific Northwest, we have some potential for some heavy rain as well. But this is not uncommon this time of year out west here. So as far as severe weather, we got a lot going on this morning already with tornado warnings and heavy rainfall. But the biggest threat in the next 12 to 24 hours is severe weather, some heavy rain in the Appalachians. So what's driving this? All right, so I'm going to stop this now. This is the 500 millibar mid-level flow, right? And you can see we have a generally southwest flow just in the trough here with an extension, and maybe another short wave move through the flow here, right, in the south. And this is today around 10 UTC, which is roughly around, so we get to 1500, let's just say. So that's about noon. So that's 8 a.m. you see the flow, and the mid-level vort moves through. You have almost two jet streaks here at the mid-levels overnight, right? And then that moves through, right? So when we look at the closer to the surface, we want to look at the low-level jet, and this is what's going to drive the severe weather threat in advance of um, when the cold front actually pushes through, right? You can see the intensification of the low-level jet here this afternoon, right? And that's what's going to drive the tornado threat and wind threat today. And that lists out, you have the exit region of the jet here. Intensification of it maintains itself here, right? And if we go to the dew point, we can see where the most moisture is, right? And we see a surface low, weak surface low developing here, maybe multiple areas here. And the dew points are a good indication of the amount of moisture that we're going to have here. So you have 50, 60 degree dew points approaching 70 here in far western Georgia, North Georgia, right? With the surface low developing and moving to the north here. All right, so we definitely have the potential for severe weather today. So we'll dive a little deep into it now as well. So one of the parameters we look at with flooding is precipitable water in the atmosphere. And see where the deep greens are indicate the most the capability of the atmosphere to support moisture and heavy rainfall. So we're approaching 2 inches here in the dark greens, right, all the way up into the northeast and to the Appalachians, right into the mid-Atlantic, not northeast. Quite a bit of a gradient. We move further north, but you see this axis highest precipitable water moves further to the east here, right? So that's why we got potential for some flooding rain here, especially in North Georgia, right? As the cold front pushes through, not nearly as much. It's not going to remain in place very long, so don't have as risk in central Georgia here. So I'm going to go through this. I think this makes the most sense to look at from a user, from a somebody who wants to know what's going to happen today with the weather. And it just shows all the different model runs, the short range model runs, the CAMs, convective variable models, and it shows the what it thinks the where the highest updraft velocity swaths will be, which could bring about rotating supercells, things like that, and the reflectivity, right? As you would see on radar. And this is the HRR. Man, I'm having some trouble today, guys, with my sinuses. Anyway, you see generally this morning into the afternoon, the heaviest cells remain into central Alabama. And, we got a lot of just rainfall going in to North Georgia, Tennessee, all the way back down into the Gulf here, along the Gulf Coast, right? And you see move further east, kind of weaken some. And this is the HRRR, but you see reinvigoration of the line just to the south here. So we're going to have to see what happens with that, okay? I'm going to take the SPC outlook off of here. We got our tornado risk, right, and our wind risk, okay? So we know where that is. So we could have multiple rounds of storms coming through the North Georgia, clearing out this evening, but then middle Georgia, we could have a reinvigoration of the line. So let's look at the other models. HWR and SSL generally shows the same thing, not quite as strong. HRW, ARW, HW, weird, kind of backwards. Generally the same thing. FV3, NAM Nest, and then we go to the HRR 6-hour. Not as bullish on it, and these other ones as well. So you can see by 8 p.m. that's generally where stuff will be, right? So this is, yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So most of the rainfall had cleared out, with the exception of the middle part of the state. Okay, so real quickly, guys, I'm going to get into a little bit deeper in the weeds here about the potential for tornadoes here in the south. So we're looking at bulk shear at the lower level, 0 to 6 kilometers, right? And you see shear parameters, highest shear parameters remain further to the west here, okay? As we approach the deep south, you see the highest values closest to the boundary here, right? We're getting into 6 p.m. Eastern, right? Let's take a sounding of the middle Georgia area, and we can see a pretty saturated profile here with not a lot of instability. All right, so take that back and look at the radar depiction at this point. Surface and precip. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so this is HRR, surface and precip. You see a broken line moving through here. So it's not really depicting a lot going on here. All right. So looks a lot different than the HREF. And I'm going to go to severe weather here and look at the updraft velocity here. Right. Looks like the higher values are further to the south and west. Although this is just the HRR run. You can see further to the north you have, this is 10 a.m. invigoration of this. This looks a little bit underdone if you ask me. So let's switch to the NAM real quickly here. Let's see what it shows. Yeah, the line just dies out here. It moves further south. Let's take a sounding of the, yeah, further west. Yeah, I don't really like this look. You have some instability. 3 Cape, 105 joules per kilogram. Okay, and 3 Cape is a good indicator of surface instability. So, although the helicity, the helicity is 200 meters squared per second squared, which would support a weak tornado here. And the hodograph, although not enlarged by a great degree, is hooked and curved here, even though it kind of goes like this. But this is a profile that would support a weak tornado. You can see by down here with different parameters, it tries to make a guess as to what could happen here. So potentially EF1, low EF2 potential here. And this is just one sounding, guys. All right. And this is 06Z. Let's go to the HRR. Back to the high resolution rapid refresh. 10Z. Let's see what it thinks. It shows nothing. And previous runs like 6Z, marginal severe, with the hodograph not being quite as enlarged here. So let's compare it to like the rapid refresh. Further to the west here. See what it says. Marginal severe. So, we're on the edge of that potential for tornadoes here, and a brief spin up cannot be ruled out, guys. I don't think tornadoes are going to be a big problem today. However, that risk does exist. I think the biggest problem will be wind gusts today. So we're going to review that next. So we look at wind gusts. This is the latest run as of 5 a.m. See highest wind gusts with these lines moving through 30, 40, 50 miles per hour into the north here. But overall, not modeling a lot of high winds here, at least for the southeast, right? But with this, the low level jet really getting going and mid levels as well, it could support some higher wind gusts. So we'll just have to see what happens. And this is around 11 a.m. this morning, Eastern time. So be mindful of that when you travel today. I hope you have a good day and God bless. As far as the data 3 to 7, U.S. Hazards Outlook, and I show this every day. If you guys don't want to see this, let me know. But I think it's a good thing to look at. The 12th through the 16th, which is next week, pretty much. So high winds possible into Montana and to parts of South Dakota here in the western South Dakota area. The 13th, the 15th through the 16th, and maybe some heavy rainfall here in southern Alaska, 15th and 16th, 13th, 14th, and high winds as well. Now, when we talk about the day 8 to 14 risk, hazardous weather here, this is from the Climate Prediction Center. So this is the 17th through the 23rd, is issued yesterday. Risk of heavy precip, not expecting heavy rainfall through the continental U.S. and Alaska through the period. Snowfall, and this is some change from yesterday. Yesterday it was they've extended this further down into the Appalachian chain all the way into northwest Georgia. I think we're going to see some changes with this on a daily basis based on latest trends. But definitely the pattern looks like it's going to support some snow in the northeast, mid-Atlantic, and possibly the deep south. But we're just going to have to keep an eye on the model trends because they're flip-flopping all over the place right now. So I love talking about wind and weather, but I'm not going to hype it up. I get excited about it, of course. I'm going to probably talk about it more, but getting a snowstorm in the deep south is exciting, but it also impacts a lot of people, so you got to be mindful of that as well. High winds, we got a risk of high winds during the period here as well. Slight risk in the north central U.S., the 17th through the 19th. Slight risk down in desert southwest in the southern California, the 17th through the 18th. And this slight risk here, the 18th through the 20th, with a potential system along the eastern seaboard here, mid-Atlantic, Appalachians, Great Lakes, just looks like to be a dynamic system moving through there. Now, hazardous temps is showing the cold air pushing back in here, especially right along the Gulf Coast, 18th through the 21st here. So are we going to have snow on the Gulf Coast? Hard to say. Don't really think so, but if y'all remember, we had blizzard warnings here in Louisiana last year around this time of year. So that was interesting. Up to the north here, same thing, 18th through the 20th, and the 20th through the 23rd for hazardous temps, cold, below normal, into the northeast. Yeah, so as far as 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we're definitely trending colder here in the deep south. And, as part of the 15-day temperature outlook in the local area I talked about here, I talk about today, I talk about every day with 15-day temperature outlook, below normal temps during this 15th through the 19th period here, which is the middle of next week, towards the end of next week, issued yesterday. This will be updated every day, right? But so out west we got a ridge spiking. So to the east we have a trough, right? So wherever this trough ends up setting up shop, we could get wintry precip here. So we'll just have to see how that goes. For Alaska, yeah, below near normal, depending on where you're at here for to the east, of course. Looking like possibly above normal temps. The same thing in Hawaii for the west. We're trending below for the east, trending above and below for the Aleutian Island chain. And 6 to 10 day precip outlook. Looking dry for a good portion of the nation here during this period. Exception of the northern tier of the U.S., maybe the northeast mid-Atlantic, near normal along the southeast coast, possibly into the Ohio Valley, and a small strip in between up into the plains, just to the west of this above area here. And Alaska, Hawaii, Aleutian Islands all look to have above normal precip chances, exception of far eastern Alaska here. As far as 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, a little further out. This is 17th through the 23rd. Today is the 10th, so next Saturday. Still trending below normal for temps here, with the highest confidence up into the northern tier of the U.S., the northeast, and into the upper Midwest here, Ohio Valley, Mississippi Valley, into the southeast. You see the ridge is kind of being suppressed some here, so we'll have to see how this pattern plays out. Above normal temperatures looking possible here in Hawaii, with near to below normal in Alaska. Aleutian Island chain looking to have near normal to above normal temps during this period. And then precip chances still below normal out west here, which is a big switch from what it's been. All right. So I read as a write-up about from the CPC about the northern tier, the northwest tier. They're at 50% of their snowpack right now, so that's interesting. Maybe because of all the rainfall and high elevation rain that they've had. So that's enough about that. Also for the deep south, Texas, just right along the Mexican border, above normal precip chances. The northern high plains, upper Midwest, near normal in the gray areas. The far southern tip of Florida, maybe a little bit above. Parts of Alaska, depending on where you're at, above or below normal precip chances here. And above normal, looking like in Hawaii. And above the near normal in different areas of the Aleutian Island chain here as well. So what's the temperature and precip outlook look like for the end of January and beginning of February from the Climate Prediction Center? Still showing a northwest flow here into the northeast, which has been the theme most of this year, the exception of recently. A ridge out west here, and equal chances of temperatures being above below normal, in between, below for all of Alaska, above for Hawaii, and above and below depending on where you're at in the Aleutian Island chain here. So quite a contrast here in the continental U.S. So when we go to precip here, a good portion of the nation has equal chances, so not a lot of confidence either way. And below normal up into extreme northeast, New England, upper Midwest. Maybe some above normal chances here in the mid-Atlantic, into the interior parts of Tennessee, in those areas. Below normal southern Florida, above normal maybe picking back up here into the northwest, streaming into the parts of the Intermountain West here. We'll see how that plays out. In Alaska and Hawaii, you can see the different probabilities here. Below normal in western Alaska, equal to above normal in eastern Alaska, above normal precip chances in all of Hawaii, although not a lot of confidence there, equal to below in the Aleutian Island chain as well.